Today we're testing the FNIRSI 2D15P, a tool that breaks the myth that all-in-ones aren't accurate. In addition, it has a phosphor screen, which is an excellent feature for oscilloscopes that digital ones usually don't have, only analog ones. This feature will be able to show details of signals that otherwise couldn't be seen right away. We'll see that. It's ideal for field service technicians. You can carry it in your bag without any problem. It's very portable. It has a rechargeable battery, ideal for advanced hobbyists, electronics students, and for automotive service. Also, where you don't have space to put 2 or 3 large devices on your desk. The presentation's very nice. Look at how beautiful it is. What a nice finish it has. It comes with all the necessary probes, 2 probes up to 100 megahertz, also a probe for the signal generator, and the test leads for the multimeter. It doesn't come with a charger, but it does come with the USB cable. And it has a very attractive design with 2 little stands that let you set it on your desk. Or should I keep going with the workshop? With a good angle, a good screen size, especially for those of us who are getting a bit old and those tiny screens are hard for us. Well, this one comes with a pretty big screen. We're going to turn it on. It's very nice. We'll see some of its features in a moment. Let's start with the oscilloscope. 100 megahertz bandwidth and a sampling rate of 500 mbps. For those who don't know what this is, imagine the oscilloscope as a camera that films an electrical signal. If a signal moves very fast and your camera takes only a few pictures per second, you're going to miss a lot of details and movements, and the image will come out blurry or incomplete. 500 mbps means that the FNIRSI 2D15P takes 500 million sample pictures in this case in just 1 second. This allows us to capture fast digital signals without losing the waveform. As for the 100 megahertz bandwidth, it should be clarified that this bandwidth is only. If you use a single channel, this device has 2 channels. You can enable one or you can enable both. If you use both, the bandwidth will be divided between both channels. That means you would have 50 megahertz for each one. The main feature of the 2D15P is the phosphor screen, which gives it persistence, just like analog devices. The signals leave a trail of varying intensity on the screen. If you have an unstable signal or intermittent noise, what's known as a glitch, you'll see it as a faint shadow. This digital persistence is key to capturing faults that occur in fractions of a second, microseconds, that the digital oscilloscope would usually erase immediately. To visualize the effect, well, here I'm showing you an amplitude-modulated signal, which, as we know, is a signal made up of a high-frequency carrier that carries an audio frequency signal on top of it. Well, as you can see, the signal shows traces of different intensity. There are 3 or 4 traces up here. Now let's look at the same signal with an oscilloscope that doesn't have a phosphor screen. Look here with this other FNIRSI that I have, which is a regular oscilloscope. You can't really see it. You only notice some instability in the signal there, but it's not as clear as in the other case. It's very intuitive to use. It has an auto button, and it stabilizes the complex signal in a few seconds. With these 2 buttons down here, you control the time base and the voltage amplitude. Let's say, and it also has parts that are operated by touch, by touching the screen. It's a mixed thing. Let's say it has buttons and it has touch. If we tap on a channel, we can see a wide menu. It has several options within each of the channel menus. All the data we want it to show us is there: frequency, voltage, peak airway pressure average. Well, it has mathematical functions which other important oscilloscopes don't have. What I noticed it doesn't have is the Fourier transform function, but well, it does have the math function, so that's good. It has both horizontal and vertical markers, which are controlled with this button. By pressing the top one, you can switch the marker, right? It's very complete. It has really good resolution, but above all, the screen persistence is the star feature of the product, right? Well, let's see now, because I already told you it's a 3-in-1, so let's check it out. The signal generator, this generator, we press this little button here and enter the generator. It's also very versatile. And pay attention. With this feature, in Cine wave mode, it can go up to 10 megahertz, which is excellent, right? But for square waves, triangular waves, and other shapes, up to 2 megahertz. To make sure the waveform is clean and useful, you can also adjust the amplitude and the frequency. The offset, well, it's perfect. Perfect for injecting an input signal into a circuit and seeing the output on a channel of the same oscilloscope, not a complete test loop in a single device. Here, for example, we place it here, let's say at the input. I'm going to set up one of the channels and we'll be able to see the waveforms, the amplitude, and so on. Let's move on to the multimeter. It's a 10,000 count multimeter. Well, in practice, this means that the multimeter will automatically change range when it exceeds 10,000. For example, this fluke has 6,000 counts. And notice that when I go over 6 volts, the decimal point changes. Well, on the other hand, the FNIRSI keeps going until it exceeds 10 volts, and then it changes, but I still keep the 2 decimal places. The Struve root mean square multimeter also has this feature, which is really good. The terminals of the multimeter are on top, isolated from the VNC input of the oscilloscope to prevent accidents. However, this is one of the things I didn't like because the cables go in front of the screen. Well, you could run them behind, but maybe it would have been better to put them on the side, though I don't think it would have been much better. Finally, I'm going to use another instrument that FNIRSI sent me as well. The SG002 is a highly precise generator that supplies very accurate voltages and currents, which we can use to verify the accuracy of the instruments. Here you can see, for example, I'm going to measure voltage with this top brand multimeter, and you can see that it measures exactly the same as the SG002 shows. And checking with the 2D15P, they measure exactly the same, right? It works perfectly, really good. And this little device is really good because you can also carry it around. It has built-in batteries, and well, it's really useful to check if your instruments are working properly. It's not very accurate. We can also check it now with current, and you'll see that it also shows exactly the current indicated by the SG002. All right, let's measure some resistors and capacitors, comparing them with the top brand multimeter. Well, that's amazing, huh? The values are very, very similar with a difference, but it's very, very subtle, right? Very good. The USB port is not only used to recharge the battery, which by the way lasts quite a while, but it also allows you to connect it to the PC to transfer screenshots and measurements, right? If you liked the review or found it useful, well, give it a like and subscribe to the channel by clicking the bell to get notifications when I upload new content. Thank you so much for watching the video and see you next time, God willing.